Need to improve your club on Ultimate Team? Check out IGGM for safe and reliable coins with the link in the description. Get an extra 5% discount with code NA. What's good, y'all? With this video, I'm going to show you guys the 4-2-2-2, which is going to be a post-patch tactic and formation. I used this 4-2-2-2 the last week in League alongside my recently posted 4-3-2-1, and I honestly prefer this 4-2-2-2. I found that the 4-3-2-1, honestly, post-patch, it's just not good anymore, honestly. It's usable, so that's why I posted it, more so for the people that just love the 4-3-2-1 and what it offers. However, the AI movement and things like that on that formation are just completely ruined by this post-patch update. There's a handful of games where I was just struggling to score with the 4-3-2-1, and then I would switch to this 4-2-2-2, and I just found it way better. Additionally, I'm also working on a 4-2-3-1 and a 4-4-2 that I've found to be way better than the 4-3-2-1 as of late, especially with these post-patch changes. But so far, I found this 4-2-2-2 to be really good. As I've said in previous formation videos that I have with formations that are similar to this one, what really excels in this formation is the fact that there's no actual wingers for wide players, rather it's attacking midfielders. And I say this a lot in my videos, these type of formations that have multiple attacking midfielders, the point of that position is just, it's so good when it comes to attacking AI because it allows that player to use its AI to basically free roam around the pitch, especially on the final third when you're really relying on unique movements and unpredictable changes in player position. The objective of this formation is to basically maximize that. So going straight to the tactics, this is the squad that I use with the 4-2-2-2, and I found it to be really good. You got your double pivot right here, 4 players up front that are going to be perfect for being anywhere in that final third. Players that are really fast, really good at shooting, really good on the dribble. And then an attacking fullback right here with Rolfo. But yeah, going straight into the custom tactics, I have it set to my ultra attacking with defensive style balance and 39 width. Basically any of my meta formation videos, I'll always have a slightly more narrow width because you basically want to force the player to be close to the touchline rather than in the middle of the pitch. This is mostly due to the fact that ever since, the more recent patches, cutbacks have been more and more nerfed. So we basically want to force the other player into getting into those cutback positions and forcing them to like have to do a cutback, which is just going to be really hard now. It also closes positions in the middle of the pitch, so even when, let's say for example, they have a striker that's through on goal and trying to make a run through your center backs, the space in between both of your center backs or between a fullback and a center back is going to be too small. So if you have a good enough center backs that are quick enough, then you notice that the gap that you have to close down the moment that striker gets the ball, unless they're just super fast, but 90% of the time that's not the case, that gap is now going to be really small. So the center backs will be able to react quickly and you'll be able to get the ball off a striker that's through on goal much quicker. And then 65 depth. It's not really too much details behind why I chose 65 depth. I did use 69, but I wanted to go with a more conservative approach at 65 this time. This formation is a little bit more relaxed when it comes to defending compared to the 4-3-2-1, so it might press a little bit less. However, this is useful for the counterattack because now since your defense is a little bit more scooted back like a tiny bit, this also drags back your wings a little bit more. So the moment you receive the ball, you'll notice that your wings are going to be much more open. And then build up play with chance creation, balance on direct passing. I wish I could change it up, but especially for this formation, there's nothing else that you want to use besides balance and direct passing. Really, formations like this in the 4-2-3-1 are the ones you're going to want to use balance and direct passing because those complement your attacking midfielders a lot more, or your wingers. It allows them to truly express, the cam AI and allow them to do multiple different things, like come short for the ball to receive the ball to their feet or make runs in behind. It allows it allows the player to truly express themselves and their stats and their AI. And then with 52, this is a little bit more water than I would normally put, and the reason why we do that is because since this formation has, like I said, attacking midfielders instead of wingers, we want to maximize the amount of things that these players can do on the pitch. By making it narrow, all it does is it forces them to be towards the middle of the pitch, which we don't want to do because we want to maximize the amount of ideas that the players can basically think about when they're attacking. So what I'm trying to say is just because this formation is a little bit more water than usual, doesn't mean the players are just going to be hugging the touchline most of the time. Really, it allows them to decide if they want to hug the touchline in specific moments or not. That way we're not giving up width in the attack. Think of this width setting more so as a limit to how wide the players can get with this formation rather than how wide you'll actually see them be. More often than not, you'll see them in the middle of the pitch because in the end they're still cams, they're not actual wingers. However, with this width thing, we're allowing them that whenever there's space out wide, whenever they see space, they will come out wide and receive the ball there. The goal of 52 width is to just make sure they're not locked down to the middle of the pitch because then you're just sacrificing your team's width for nothing. And then 6 players in the box. Again, really the bonus to my formation videos is how attacking based they are really. I'm a player that loves to overwhelm the other team with attackers in the box. And a funny thing that a lot of people do not know is that EA are very generous when it comes to this setting right here. What I mean is when it's time for the players to run back and reposition themselves for the counterattack if you lose the ball, they will check back really fast, especially players like the fullback and things like that. Which really, if you think about it, that's pretty dumb because logically you would assume that if you throw up too many players up in the attack, you should get punished for it. But really, that's not the case. Your players will just check back so fast to the point where you don't even have to worry about counterattacks like that. But like I say, normally, you're not always going to have 6 players actually join the attack. This is when you do decide to have 6 players join the attack. And what I mean by that is, let's say you're attacking with a fullback and you bomb the wings with your fullback, your attacking fullback, or your overlapping fullback. The moment you decide to send that cross in or anything like that, or maybe you decide to cut in or whatever with that fullback, until you have lost the ball, that fullback will remain inside the box for the remainder of the attack. So it's basically cool because you can basically use it as like a contextual decision to have more players inside your box whenever you feel like it's necessary. And then defensively, this won't be an issue because you're always going to have 4 players that are stuck behind, basically watching the counterattack. And these are going to be your 2 center backs, your defending fullback, and then your CDM. And then you might wonder, well, isn't that going to be a huge hole on one side of the pitch when it comes to when the other player gets the ball? You're going to have an attacking fullback out of position, things like that. And I say no. And this is for 2 reasons. One, like I said earlier, your fullback that was attacking that, has left that space wide open, they're going to track back so fast to the point where there's not really much the other player can do to really abuse that open side of the pitch. And 2, because of that CDM that's stuck behind, they will stick in between the 2 center backs. And one of the center backs will basically shift a little bit towards the open area left by the left back or your attacking fullback, and they'll close down the space that was left open by that attacking fullback. This is by far the meta when it comes to defensive setups because you get a huge advantage having to throw up an extra left back or a fullback, and then there's very minimal consequence. Going straight into instructions, you can see our 2 strikers up front. You can have 1 striker on stay central and that's it, and you can have another one on stay central again behind. Think of 1 striker as a striker that you can trust to receive the ball to their feet and you can dribble with. So if you have someone that's 5'5", things like that, or plays with really good dribbling, you're going to want that right here on the left. And then you're going to want another striker that's really just a huge, like a really fast player. If possible, maybe even someone big. So if you have like a Holland type player, you don't have to get a player like that. But if you do have a player like Holland or whatever, just a big player, even like a Benzema or whatever, then they'd be perfect for this spot right here. Someone that's big and imposing in the box is going to be really good right here. Really, all this player's job right here is to just be a threat inside the box. And when not in the box, in their counterattack, they're just forcing the center backs to really just have to deal with them. Someone that can shoulder off players like VVD and things like that are going to be perfect for this player right here. Or for the spot right here. I put Chiesa right here because he has rapid plus, so if he does receive a throw ball, it's going to be really hard to stop him. And if you have a player that matches Chiesa's profile, a player that's just really fast, Eusebio works, players like that right here just going to be really good. And then Mia Hamm right here because I can trust Mia Hamm to receive the ball to her feet. And then she's really good with the left stick to dribble. She's also 5'5", so I can really do whatever I want with Mia Hamm right here. And then your left midfielder right here, or I'm just going to call them wingers for the sake of making it easy. Your left winger right here is just going to be on get into the box for cross. However, your right winger is just going to be on completely balanced. You might wonder why we do that, and that's because our left back right here is going to be our attacking fullback, which is going to be on join the attack overlap, and then our right one is going to be on a stay back while attacking overlap. We do this specifically because when Rolfo right here, our attacking left back, is overlapping, we want to make sure not only does she have space for the overlap and to make sure she's not imposing in some other player's space, but so that Zola right here is making a run into a position that if Rolfo can see Zola, it'll be because Zola has beat a fullback. So really the reason why we do this is because if you don't have your left winger right here on get into the box for cross, these 2 players are just going to be right next to each other and there's not going to be any, like they're going to be easy to pass to each other, but the passes that you'll make between these 2 players are just not going to be something that the other player will be scared about. This player right here is not going to enter the box. They're just going to play it safe. And really there's not going to be much progression. There's going to be movement, but it's not going to be movement that really threatens the other players. So when we have get into the box for cross, you notice that this player right here will be tucked in between the fullback and the center back. So when Rolfo has the ball, you can focus on beating the fullback with your left stick dribbling or whatever. And then once you can find Zola right here, he'll be in a way better position than normally. We don't do that on this side, however, primarily because this side's going to have a lot more space because it doesn't have an overlapping fullback on this side. So you basically give this player the freedom that he deserves to just roam around and find space that he likes. And then our double pivot midfield right here, our left mid, is going to be on balanced defense, balanced attack, cover center, basically just everything default except for cover center. You can have him on cover center specifically. And then our right mid right here, which is going to be our true CDM, our number 6, is going to be on cut passing lanes, stay back while attacking cover center. Now, what I would highly recommend is, unlike what I did, the only reason why I have this player on the left and this player on the right is literally only because I want to use Gundogan's finesse shot. What I would highly recommend for you guys, if you don't have a player like Gundogan that can get those finesse shots in, I would highly recommend that you switch these two players. And the reason why I say that is because since this player is going to be roaming around the pitch a lot, you're going to have a lot of opportunities with an attacking midfielder right here to link up basically and have a lot more attacking AI and passing lanes. Literally the only reason why I have Gundogan on the left side right here is just to use his finesse shots because he's a right footer. So I compromise my formation a little bit just for the sake of finesse shots. So I would highly recommend that you guys swap it around for your own gameplay. Or if you have Gundogan too, you can do what I did right here and just put him on the left side. But for you guys, I would highly recommend that you switch the roles right here. But besides that, like I said earlier, this player right here is just going to be a classic CDM. And then this player right here is going to be like a roaming box-to-box number 8. So you're going to want a player right here that's good at everything really. Think of a player like Gullit, obviously. And then a player right here that can just really harass the other team in the build-up. So a player like, you know, this guy right here, or Kimmich, or even Bruno would be pretty good. And then like I said earlier, this is your defense right here. You're going to have the attacking fullback on the left side right here with join the attack overlap. And then your right back right here on step back while attacking overlap. And then obviously your two center backs, like always, completely default. And then your keeper right here is going to be on constant crosses, sweeper keeper. What makes this formation so much better than its opposing formations is just like the 4-2-3-1, instead of wingers, it has attacking midfielders. And what's so good when it comes to attacking midfielders is that they specifically have AI coded to allow that player to roam into positions that the defender leaves open. In order to maximize that movement that you can get from your attacking midfielders, if you're playing against opposing players that are dragging their defenders out of position, things like that, if you're a player that can use your dribbling good enough to the point where the other team's defenders are shifted out of position, things like that, this formation is just gonna cook. Primarily because once those players are dragged out of position, your attackers, especially your wingers or your attacking midfielders as we're gonna call them, they're gonna make all different types of runs to occupy the space that's now opened by the other players' movements. That right there is what makes this formation so much more unpredictable and so much of a hassle to defend against compared to other formations like the 4-4-2 and things like that, which are obviously good formations as well, but those formations are much more straightforward, and really the same thing happens over and over again, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. So if you want consistency, you'd probably be better off with a formation like those, but at the same time, if you want something that's unpredictable, then you'd want a formation like this one. It's really just the pros and cons between consistency and unpredictability. But yeah, like I said, the last weekend league was really interesting to me because I normally found the 4-3-2-1 to be the best formation in the game, but for this time, for some reason, well, not for some reason, there obviously is a reason because EA kind of ruined the game, but this 4-2-2 is just the best formation in my opinion right now. And if it wasn't the best formation, in my opinion, it's either the 4-2-2-2 or the 4-2-3-1 that are the best formation so far. And then the 4-4-2 is like a close competitor, obviously. But yeah, if you enjoyed this video, leave a like, comment, subscribe, follow me on Twitter or X or whatever I'm supposed to call that, and join our Discord for FIFA related discussion with the links in the description. But other than that, that's all.